Hey guys, it's here bringing you another video. Welcome back to, I can say, Challenger Spectate, because today we are watching Challenger Camille. So, I haven't played Camille yet. And to be honest, I've never really played a lot of the champion. I don't know why, I've never really, loved it, even though I should like the champion. She is inspired greatly by a character from the cartoon Avatar, actually the Legend of Korra. I think the character is called Lin Beifong. She's the head of police, basically, in the series. And she, well, one, they look kind of similar. And two, it's about metal bending and having these kind of wires that help them kind of navigate. Kind of like Attack on Titan. So I should like the character because I like that world. But I don't know. I've just never played too much of Camille. Maybe I should because, you know, there's some champions that I play that are similar to this champion. But today we are watching a Challenger player currently at 647 LP of me recording this, has a 55% overall win rate, and specifically is more technically a Fiora player with 96 games of Fiora with 62.5% win rate. But her second played champion is Camille, 82 games with a 57.3% win rate. So this game, she's against the Croc, Renekton. I have seen, by the way, some of you have asked, hey Huz, what about Renekton? Have you played him yet? Are you going to play him? This game is probably a good example of why I've personally gone off Renekton. From what I can guess. Again, I haven't watched this game yet, but I know obviously the result. Meanwhile, level 1 fight starting. Camille starts with Q. Q obviously gives quite a lot of power in the early game because it has true damage, and obviously Camille herself, her passive, if you don't know what it is, whenever the passive on cooldown, whenever you attack somebody, whatever their main stat is or more value, attack damage or ability power, it will give you a shield to that type of damage, I believe. I think that's how it works against their damage type physical magic. So with Renekton being an AD, obviously champion, it will give a Camille a AD shield. So very good against trading in the early game, one-on-one. And hell, it's actually not that bad for late game either, right? So Camille is designed for being more a 1v1 duelist. Again, apologies for the replays being slightly bugged. Nothing I can do about that, and Riot has not fixed it. So her W normally has a cone that we just can't really see. And I don't know if the replay will actually show her ultimate either. Hopefully it does. But yeah, so Renekton I do like as a champion as well. I like how he plays. He's very smooth. Like his kit, I love Renekton's kit. I'd say one of the best champion design kits is probably Renekton's. It's so satisfying to use. Everything works really nicely together. You can do great combos with it, and it works together really well. But the problem with Renekton, as it's generally always been, and he obviously has been meta here or there, but Renekton is what we call a lane bully. His scaling is more base damage, base raw damage, than pure scaling. What that means, because if you're new to the game, you probably will hear people say that. What does that actually mean? So the ability damage, which you can see on Camille, Camille's next attack deals 17 physical damage, etc. What that means is that's the base damage of the ability. Each ability in the game does a little bit of base damage. Meanwhile, Camille going aggressive, arguably not the best idea to do. With Renekton now having oh, he gets hit by a tower that's pretty big, but a little bit low health is the Camille, so probably nothing coming over yet. But then every single ability also then has scaling damage. So the more attack damage you get, the more damage that ability will do, for example. Some abilities, let's say, have a 0.5 AD ratio on that ability. This is very questionable what Renekton's doing, by the way. He is just going to die. So he was basically trying to cut off the Rek'Sai's escape with the Graves having a fight. Meanwhile, Graves now in the area, and Zoe is here too. Unfortunately good for Graves, that has happened. Now, the funny thing is, just to make the point clear, Zoe came over, Fizz is still in mid lane, there's even a Leona here. So that's kind of weird, but that does happen in high rating. This is a challenging game, and covering off enemy and stuff like that happens all the time. Would your mid laner, in whatever rating you be, that Zoe, commit to go over there? Most likely no. Even in low diamond, probably not. Would a support be even willing to go there? Probably not. But in Challenger, the game is different. But yeah, with scaling, sorry. So let's say you have 100 attack damage and your Q has a 0.5 AD ratio. That means your Q will be doing a bonus 50 damage because it has a 0.5 scaling with you having 100 attack damage. So that's, you know, one way of doing it. So some champions will have a 0.5 ratio. Some champions will have a 1 ratio. So for every 1 attack damage you have, it'll do 1 extra damage. So suddenly, that same 100 attack damage means more because your ability, instead of doing 50, because you had a 0.5 ratio, if you have a 1 ratio, it's doing an extra 100 damage. So later into the game, when you get more AD, your abilities start doing more. That's what scaling is. And Renekton, he has okay ratios. Meanwhile, Zoe roaming, but he has nowhere near the ratios of other top laners. He flashes away, Zoe roaming, and this is a bit weird to see, as Zoe actually roaming in the early game. She's against a Fizz, which is quite, I'd say, a volatile matchup, really. You know, I'd probably give the advantage to Fizz in that matchup, if anything, and it's the usual, you know, Fizz is going to probably farm kind of bad in the early game, but by level 6, he can kind of one-shot you if he hits his ult. That's Fizz at the moment, and has been for a while. But Zoe roaming, not trying to bully the Fizz in the early game, is a bit surprising, because I would probably try my best to shut down a Fizz as much as I can. But she's not. So, by the way, item-wise, Camille goes Sheen early. Very obviously good damage item with combining spells and autos. Meanwhile, Graves in the top lane, looking a little bit for a gank. But unfortunate timing for him that the Camille was going the river to pick up a plant. So she spotted him. But one thing I'll just say, we kind of spoke about it last game with the Zed. If you didn't watch the replay, we watched the Zed versus a Lucian. Meanwhile, a play might be happening with Zoe roaming again. Meanwhile, Camille gets a free kill. Lovely. Nice awareness by the Camille to do that. But notice the farm. You know, Camille is behind on farm. Will she care? No. So this is sometimes what you have to learn with League of Legends. When a Renekton's designed more for lane phase, more early game, and more bullying in the early game, it's okay for him to be ahead early. Meanwhile, you can see the trade's actually not going bad for Camille. Renekton ults way too late, so he's just wasted his ultimate there unless he goes for an all-in any second. So Camille won't mind at all. Really, she won't. You just have to trust that your champion is better than his late game. And you know that. Camille outscales Renekton just by scaling. So that's the thing I think a lot of people in League need to learn. You know, we've always said the weirdest thing to me, and I had it even recently, it was uploaded to the channel. We had a Nasus in our game do pretty bad in the early game. Wanted to surrender. Nasus wanted to surrender. Why on earth, and there's the Fizz kill, by the way, it was inevitable, but he does go into the tower and does die. Why would a Nasus of all players want to surrender in the early game? You are the epitome of late game carry, late game scaling champion. If you're playing a late game champion like that, then really you shouldn't be a surrender player. You should be trying your best to convince your team, hang on, I'm Nasus. Calm down. I scale like crazy. Let the game continue. But it was the Nasus himself that wanted the game to be over. So the whole prospect of why, again, why have I not played Renekton? I do love the champion. Thematically, he's a crocodile. That's really cool. His kit feels wonderful to play. It's that issue. It's the scaling issue. So the game itself at the moment, I actually would say the average game time has probably gone down in preseason because the damage has gone up. So some people are like, isn't that good for Renekton? The game doesn't go to late game, right? That's good. Because of the way that the items are at the moment, late game, it feels like has come earlier. And because of the item strength, you're getting more scaling earlier into the game. So by the time Camille has one item, Renekton has kind of got outscaled by that point, you know, because items are so good now. Meanwhile, you can see level 7, has he already been outscaled? Like, neither of them have got completed items. Camille going to commit for the flash, doesn't actually get the kill, unfortunately for her. But that's the main point, is I think Renekton, even though, yes, he can lane bully, he can get a farm, a lead, which he still has in this game, it's not enough. You know, he gets outscaled too early. Meanwhile, a fight is happening, and he will go down. The Camille, sorry, she will go down, because the Fizz roamed. Unfortunately for her, Bard, by the way, and both supports are here. Bard goes aggressive right into the Zoe and Leona, but this is now an outnumbered situation for the enemy team. Lovely stuns by the Leona to try and stop the Fizz, but is it going to happen? Rek'Sai fully committing for the Graves. Bad fight is happening here. Rek'Sai goes down, Camille respawns, and that will be that. So the Fizz actually now starting to come in itself of Fizz. What's weirding me out, though, is the Fizz has got a Seeker's Arm Guard first item. Don't think he needs that, to be honest. Meanwhile, Zoe actually picks off the Graves up in mid lane, and with the Leona, double kill for Zoe. So the weird thing, this Zoe's actually having a good game, but on the most part, I think mages personally are very strong right now. But I haven't seen Zoe herself being that good. I don't think she's like benefited as much as other champions have, like Xerath and Victor. I think they are stronger now. Still not weak is Zoe, but still. Right, so Camille going to go to lane, going to be a bit of farming, push the lane in. Still not really going to be able to catch up this farm lead that the Renekton has right now. The only way she's truly going to do that is one of two things, really. Well, three, actually. If Renekton roams and she stays top lane, if she kills the Renekton, or if she gets him low enough to go back and buy, or like go base when he doesn't want to. That's really going to be the only ways that she gets back into this. And I also think that sometimes, you know, people don't really, fully think about that anyway. You know, when you're in a game and, you know, you have a disadvantaged matchup early, like for example this. Meanwhile, Fizz is roaming again, and this is going to be another dead Camille. Will she get the kill? No. Fizz roams, no vision top lane, that's a dead Camille. But sometimes, you know, you're in disadvantaged top lane, like this matchup, Camille versus Renekton. He gets a farm lead, but then he just doesn't miss farm. You can't kill him yet. He doesn't miss any farm. How do you catch that up? The answer is you can't right now. So it does weird me out when people are like, oh, just catch up with the farm, forehead. Wow. She just genuinely one-shot him, but also gets one-shot herself. Rek'Sai, though, looking for the Fizz. Not sure that's going to happen. Is maybe, though. Ooh, close, and will pick up the kill. But ladies and gentlemen, as we've said many a time now, League of One-Shots. That is the game. Meanwhile, Renekton may have overstayed, actually. Teleport by Camille. Can she do anything? Maybe not. Renekton having high rage is kind of the danger part for Renekton. High damage, etc. This Renekton not opting for PTA, by the way. Nice little trade by Camille there. PTA is the more damage-intensive rune in the early game. Conqueror is the more scaling one. And obviously, this Renekton's gone Conqueror. So he is thinking about his mid to late game a little bit more. But to be honest, as a Renekton, I probably would, you know, go PTA. The whole point of the champion is to lane bully, get ahead early, etc. I'd commit to that. PTA is the way that you get more ahead in the early game, potentially get some solo kills. So, yeah. Meanwhile, this is maybe a bad play for the enemy team. They do go down to the Renekton, but the Camille is alive, but the Rek'Sai goes down. Obviously, Graves, upon recording this, one of the strongest junglers in the game, is doing that Eclipse collector build, like most champions are that are in his kind of bracket of champions. You know, there's a Jhin on this team doing it as well. And, yeah. So, item-wise, Camille has, in essence, rushed her mythic item. Renekton's been a bit slower to it because he's actually gone for boots. So Divine, I think Sunderer is what it's called. Yeah, Divine Sunderer for Camille. So after using an ability, which includes, by the way, pressing Q, your next ability, next attack, sorry, deals physical damage, 10%. So it's quite strong. The cooldown of it, by the way, is 1.5 seconds. Damn. And then also, if the target is a champion, restore 50% of the enhanced damage. So I think that's like lifesteal, maybe, restore. That's an incredibly strong item, especially with that being a lower cooldown. Within a big duel, let's say between two tankish duelists and bruisers like Camille and Renekton, you might be able to proc Divine Sunderer 2-3 times. Maybe, and maybe even more. So that's pretty strong. So what I would expect now is one of two things. Either Renekton returns to lane and Camille will start playing incredibly aggressive. She's got the mythic. He doesn't right now. Will she use that advantage? And my second thing I was actually going to say is you may see Renekton roam. He's gone down to the dragon. He helped his team to dragon. The reason being, Renekton doesn't probably want to be in lane against Camille right now. You know, he doesn't have his mythic. Well, again, not even mythic, his completed item. He now has it, so I would wager we will see Renekton in top lane again soon. But he actually hasn't opted for a Blade of the Ruined King. Sorry, a mythic item. He's gone for Blade of the Ruined King. Which isn't a mistake, by the way. There are a bunch of champions that are doing that. Aurelia also being one. Blade of the Ruined King, still a very strong item. If you don't know what the new Blade of the Ruined King is attack supply additional 10% current physical health, damage on hit. Also, attacking a champion 3 times deals a bonus magic damage and steals movement speed. So that health, that could be its own mythic item. Oh no, it is a mythic item. I'm an idiot. Wow, is it? I'm actually an idiot, by the way, because I've seen all these Aurelias buy that, and I'm like, why are they not going Triforce first? That's why, because they're going that item as their mythic, not another. Anyway, big fight breaking out. Big Fizz ultimate. 3 people actually get hit by that. Camille going for the kill on Renekton. She will get that. She's locked somebody in. We do see her ultimate on the replay. Rek'Sai goes down. Camille going to try and flash away. By the way, the Fizz is still really... He's full health. And the enemy team do wipe that fight. So red team now has the advantage. This is not a stop game. Bot laners, as you'd probably expect, are just staying bot lane. It's kind of funny. You know, we've always kind of said about the island that is top lane. Honestly, AD carries is kind of an island too. Very often, especially in higher rating games, you will see, you know, even supports being a fight like that, a 4v4 up in top lane or whatever, and the AD carries will just stay bot lane. That is very common. So really, the island of bot lane exists now too. Camille, though, does, by the way, opt for tier 2 boots. I don't know why the camera is still wanting to go away from her. It's a bit annoying. But it has gone for plated steel caps, because the enemy team is, for the most part, AD damage, apart from the Fizz, who, again, has rushed Zhonya's. It's a bit weird that he's rushed Zhonya's, but does it even matter? His damage you saw in that fight was extremely high. He actually didn't get, I think, lower than mainly full health. So the Fizz is having a great game so far. The only thing, as you kind of expect, his farm isn't the best. But that is what a melee versus range matchup sometimes does to you. You know, you concede farm to not let yourself get too poked out. So Renekton returning to the top. I would expect Camille to fight this guy actively, by the way. I don't think Camille has to play relatively passive anymore. You can see, by the way, with farm, she has caught up. And again, how did she do that? We mentioned earlier. Well, Renekton wasn't in lane, so he wasn't farming. That's how she caught up. But now, Camille's going to roam, so Renekton has pulled ahead. Right, so Camille is in the area. She finds the Bard. The Graves on a rampage, but the Camille coming for the fight as a whole. She will pick up the Bard, and then Graves also in trouble. Rek'Sai should have probably backed out of that, but Camille will pick herself up a nice double kill. Meanwhile, who's still in top lane? Renekton. So this is just the difference of roams. You know, it is unfortunate sometimes as a top laner that it just works for one, doesn't work for the other. Renekton's last roam is he helped get Dragon, and now, by the way, he's probably dead. Camille ults, Renekton ults, but what is going to happen in the actual fight? She actually does bail, but he gets hit by a tower shot if she extends with her E. Oh, she actually mucked that up, but Renekton will die. So now she got a double kill from roaming. Renekton could have stayed, you know, continued to build up a farm lead, pressure the tier 2, but I think he kind of ran into the blue side jungle for a little bit and got a bit confused. Camille returns and gets a solo kill on him. So that's, again, the power of scaling of Camille. And just to say, you know, that double kill, you know, it's not like, oh, she got a double kill by her roams and that's how she got ahead. She didn't go back. She didn't use her money she just got from that double kill. She directly went back to top lane, you know. If maybe she got the double kill from roaming, went back, bought a full item, was like, okay, she's like half an item ahead. That kind of makes sense. She didn't go back yet. So they were still, you could say, even in items, a Camille versus Renekton. So what is she going to buy now? Black Cleaver, maybe? Oh, she goes for a Tiamat, and she's probably going to go for Ravenous Hydra, I would presume now. Still a great item for a lot of duelist champions, Fiora, Camille, etc. It gives good sustain, and that's kind of what also you want as a duelist, because you can, you know, not every single fight is going to be the fight to the death. If you both half health each other, you kind of want to get the lifesteal to get back to full health. Camille, though, is going to look aggressive, and now this is where we're going to start to see the difference of the champions occur. This is Renekton, who got ahead early, but now not ahead enough. So this is why you're watching it right in front of you, of why I've stopped playing Renekton. It sucks, because, yeah, this Renekton did really well in the early game. He is 1-5 now somehow, so he's obviously not had a great mid-game. But that is why, you know, to me, playing a champion like Renekton, or what known as an early game champion, as a solo laner who's supposed to be pretty powerful, it's very demoralizing, like right now, that this Renekton is 1-5, right? We're only 19 minutes into the game. This Renekton, in his mind, you know, it's not like that he can go to that really positive place and be like, okay, I can just kind of turtle in, just kind of farm for a while and I'll be okay. No, because he gets out of scale. That's the point. His time has gone as a champion. You know, his early lane phase where he has the power advantage, that's over. So that, to me, that's a really terrible feeling. And that's why, you know, why have people started to play Pantheon support? the same reason. It works well as support. You're not the carry of the game. Meanwhile, a 2v1 situation happening. Camille probably will try to escape with a nice E. Will she get away? Enemy team might run this in, but Leona and Zoe are in the area. But, yeah, I don't know. I like obviously Renekton, but it's just kind of sucky to me. Camille E's over the wall. The Fizz is probably going to be getting the kill on Leona. I think Kai'Sa actually committed for it. Does get the kill with her ultimate. Jhin is in the middle of the fight. When did that happen? Graves doing a bit of damage, and the enemy team will take that. I think slight advantage. Well, not a slight advantage. Enemy team advantage team fight. They kill 3. Blue team killed 1. Baron is on the table for them now. Is this a good idea? Camille's coming back at full health. Zoe is around, who's obviously a nightmare, you know, just bombarding damage in. But Camille, weirdly, is not committing. So it's just a Zoe. So with just a Zoe, yeah, the enemy team can commit to this. Maybe the Camille should have actually got over there. She is coming now, but I would wager it's too late. And it is too late. So, oh, she might catch one. Never mind. But yeah, very weird that the Camille didn't go for that. She had teleport up too, so she could have even teleported nearby if she wanted to go for it. Maybe she just thought it was a waste of time. But I don't know. I think they probably could have done something there. She has now completed a Hydra, by the way. Has taken clearly the farm lead. And overall is having a pretty good game. Fizz is committing to the Zoe. She flashes a little bit, which is good. Fizz with his Zhonya's. Leona's waiting for him with a Rek'Sai, and they will go down. Camille staying in top lane, though, as you'd expect. Is Camille a team fighter? Not really. She's more of a 1v1 duelist, kind of like a Fiora. A level advantage now also for Camille. She gets the tower. Obviously, Renekton with Graves having the pressure. Got that earlier. But obviously, Camille is having to fight Renekton through Baron minions now. Ultimate is happening. If I was this Camille, I would be like, how many people are top lane? So, Bard is here. Renekton's ultimate is through. Bard is getting ulted by Camille. She's going to flash and get away. 3 people committing to top lane, by the way. Meanwhile, they got the Graves in bot side. So that's very bad for the enemy team. 3 people commit to try and kill the Camille. They don't kill her. Meanwhile, 3 people in bot lane kill the Graves. Advantage blue team. Well played to the Camille for surviving. Sometimes your best thing is to survive. And that's what Camille did. Obviously did blow a flash to do that. But that is what sometimes flash is for. So she's going to return to top lane. Her mana is not looking too hot, though, so wouldn't expect her to stay along, you know, about too much, because mana is quite useful for Camille. She is a spell-reliant champion. So you might do one more wave. Well, she sees Renekton in mid lane, by the way, and that will give her the confidence to stay top. This Renekton, I would wager, shouldn't be mid lane right now, because, again, he's losing out more on farm. He's going down on XP even more. And the further he gets behind to the Camille, the greater it's going to show the scaling difference. Meanwhile, potentially a big fight happening in mid. Camille might teleport for this, especially now. Look who's in top lane. Renekton's now in top. Rek'Sai went for a very ambitious play and does find himself or herself dead. Camille is TPing, and will get Bard ulted, and that will probably stop her play. Enemy is looking for the Graves. Leona does get onto him. Camille might look for the Graves. She does find him, ults him. Will she get back up from her team? Doesn't get the kill. Renekton flashing over the wall. Advantage so far for red team. Camille on the back foot completely. What can she do? Can she get one more kill? Doesn't look likely. Very close, though. Very close. Does get a double kill and then dies. Wow. Surprised she got that kill. I bet the Fizz wouldn't have liked that one. Zoe, I can't speak apparently today. I will say I'm very tired. Apologies if I do make audible mistakes. Very crazy fight. Zoe nearly picked up that Renekton, but didn't in the end. Renekton managing to make a little bit of a comeback. And wait, I'm so stupid. Oh, I bet there's people been screaming at me this game. Okay, Blade of the King isn't a mythic. I thought I wasn't crazy. So you can see in the top right of the item box, it says unique mythic. Blade of the King is just unique. Okay, so there we go. Blade of the King is just a legendary unique item. It means you only can buy one of them, you know, etc. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Sorry. I'm half dead. Hopefully you guys don't mind. Meanwhile, Bard will die. Rek'Sai, bad timing for the camera there. Committing and does kill the Kai'Sa, by the way, because, again, League of Damage. And does have a Prowler's Claw, by the way. Assassin, Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai, I don't think you could call Rek'Sai an assassin. Now is. To be honest. So, yeah, that's kind of funny. Red buff is being taken by Camille because a fight's about to break out, so she may as well take the red advantage and use it in the fight. She is looking for the Renekton. Jin finds him. Camille looking for the Graves. She will find the Graves. Now on the Fizz, does pick up the Fizz. Look at the damage, by the way. Like, very high damage from Camille. And also, what's really nice to see, and, you know, I did say she's not a team fighting champion. Doesn't mean she can't work in team fights, because she has high mobility. You know, when a team fight scatters, Camille is a great champion for running people down. And also in team fights, if you need to kill that one person, you know, that one champion is being the problematic champion, well, Camille can ult that champion, you know, unless they buy, I think, a QSS counters it, Quicksilver Sash, then, you know, you can lock them down. And that sometimes can be the big difference. A Camille can split push the whole game, and there's one problematic champion on the enemy team. Then Camille, for one fight, decides, all right, I'll group, quickly get that one champion, ult them down, lock them down, and because Camille hasn't been in team fights, that person hasn't bought a QSS, boom, you've got them. And that could end the game. So Camille can kind of do both. Just a very versatile bruiser, duelist champion, to be honest. Has now got Black Cleaver, so as to be expected. And yeah, doing great. 11-4-3, 20 farm now above the Renekton. He is now in bot lane, going to try and farm a bit himself, but you can see in mid lane, Camille is not wanting to not have 0 farm herself, even though Jin will take most of it. Camille looking for an engage, doesn't find anything, and now enemy team might have actually been caught sleeping here, to be honest. Fizz was shown in top lane, Renekton was shown in bot lane. They find the Graves, who again has high damage, problematic champion. Camille gets herself a double kill, not dead. Rek'Sai overcommits, will end up dead himself, Rek'Sai self, sorry. And Fizz is now finally here, misses the ultimate, that's pretty bad. And with the combined forces, the CC of Camille and Leona, that is a dead fish. They will take the tier 2, and they'll probably wait for minions or head on over to Baron. Really nice play by the Camille. High damage, you can see how crazy this damage is. And they are finally forcing their way into the team's enemy's base, and they're going to get the first inhibitor of the game. Can they do any more than that? Maybe, but probably not. I would probably push top and bot in, then maybe look for Baron if you wanted to kind of push it, but probably not right now because the enemy team will be coming up pretty soon. Renekton has come back to top lane. To be honest, he can't fight this Camille, even though he has the health advantage right now. In a 1v1, it just ain't happening anymore, unfortunately for him. She does back away, though, does the Camille, because there was a Kai'Sa also. And you can see, by the way, the power of Ocean Dragon. That casual regen. How is Camille gaining so much health? Ocean Dragon. It's behind Infernal, it's probably the best dragon. And I'm going to say probably. It is the best dragon behind Infernal. Infernal gives you raw damage. But sometimes I would say you'd want one Infernal Dragon in the early game, and then maybe you'd actually want Ocean Dragon. Ocean Soul. Meanwhile, Rek'Sai is committing to the Kai'Sa. Kind of feels like the Rek'Sai's fallen off, to be honest. Meanwhile, Bard's going for the ult. Camille flashes it. Fizz is over on the right. He's committing for a Leona, by the way, which that actually could be a mistake. Ultimate by the Camille. They do get the kill with the Jhin. Big fight is breaking out. Renekton having to run away. Camille gets that kill. Look at the Q. The Q, by the way, I probably should have said even earlier. How is that chunking so much? Camille's second half to a Q is true damage if you wait long enough. And the enemy team surrender from that. They're just done. They're like, oh, never mind. And, you know, they might have been able to turn that. It wasn't 100% a guarantee win for blue team. But after that fight, even though the Rek'Sai just got owned, they're like, nah, we're done. See you later. So that is going to be it. That is Camille. Honestly, one of the strongest, I'd say, duelists in the game. Is she stronger than Fiora? Not really sure. Fiora is very strong right now. Because Fiora, yes, doesn't use Divine Sunderer, but she uses Gore Drinker. And healing is definitely not fixed. Healing is still very strong in League of Legends. And yeah, Fiora with Gore Drinker is just mental. So, yeah, that's going to be it. If you guys did enjoy, do throw a like on the video. Let me know what you think of Camille or any champions that are similar to her, because I think they're a strong group of champions right now. And, yeah, throw a like on it, throw a comment, throw a subscribe. See you guys next time. Peace.